Hello, hello, and welcome to the Hall Wrestling Podcast. My name is Kieran Brennan. I'm your host. With me, as always, my co-host.
The man that United forgot Rian and Kieran, that was either in the last 2 weeks you have gotten a new mic or your computer has just behaved because that was beautiful. But like it genuinely feels, we were just saying this just before we started recording, it feels like ages since we recorded, and I'm very happy to be recording because usually the
Yeah,
recordings are usually what bookend our week, and we're like, oh, this is the last act of a week and we start a new week next week.
huh.
So yeah, it's been felt like a lot of shit has happened in the wrestling world, and then like just personally, it's just been a bit of a bit of a slog. Well, how are you, Kieran?
I'm fine. I'm bored. I've been watching loads of movies lately. That's
Yeah.
about it. The Dublin International Film Festival was last week. That was awesome.
Oh,
So
cool.
I've
Was
been
it
watching
was it a
things.
Zoom event? Was it?
It wasn't Zoom. But it was like online watching movies. Like you'd buy a ticket and they'd live stream the movie or whatever. It's pretty
Oh,
weird. Cool. I don't know.
oh, cool. No, yeah, as you said, it's been a. Sorry, it felt like fucking ages. Like, as I've said on Twitter, like this week was the first week. Last week, I think it was last week. Yeah, last week was like the first week in 2021 that we didn't have a podcast.
Yeah.
In terms of an interview, that I just haven't had an interview. Like I have one next week, a really cool interview. I'll talk Kieran about it, and I just want to maybe
Mm.
hold off on saying it. But I have a really like even Kieran was like, if you're a fan of wrestling, you will definitely know this man. So that should be
Yeah.
very interesting. But like I just felt like I had like a few days where I was just really low. Like I don't know, like out of nowhere, and you realize how much it creeps up on you, and I will recommend. I have a recommendation later on that I'm quite passionate about, and I'm sure you've seen me talk about it on my story if you follow me on personal socials. But it just felt like I was so busy and like focusing on podcasts and work, college work, and everything. And then after my assignments, after I handed in my assignment on Thursday, like for Friday and Saturday, I was just like, wow, this is like still continuing. It was really weird.
Yeah.
It's strange. You really realize how much you value how busy you are when you're not. It's like that kind of lyrics of the song. You like you only need the light when it's burning low. It's like literally like that. You only realize what you're missing when it's like not there, and you're like, oh holy shit, this actually means like functioning and like structure to the day. So like it's really good to be back and kind of hopefully I think we now's the time that I'm gonna say we need to get Takeover Throwbacks back on the tracks. We need to get that. We have our next episode planned. We just need to get it recorded because it's just been a bit of a crazy start to the year. But we will be back with Takeover Throwbacks. Scott is our next guest. I guested on Scott's podcast. I reviewed No Way Out. I think I reviewed
Yeah.
No Way Out 2000, and crazy to look back at that time because I recorded an episode with him before, and he's recorded with me. We've kind of started doing this back and forth, and I really enjoyed that. And I'd love to. I can't wait to record Takeover Tampa with him. And coming up to Mania, and that was a Mania Takeover. It might be the right time to record it. But yeah. Obviously, this podcast is sponsored by Manscaped. Use code Hallway for 20% off. The ad will be in the middle somewhere. But yeah, let's get into it, Kieran. I think there's only one place
Great.
to start. Yeah, I think there's only one place to start, man. Like, I mean, Vince needs to get started with his plans because most of WWE WrestleMania 37 back to square one. Before I bring you in, Kieran, I just want to read out what it says. So basically, according to WrestleVotes seem to be that kind of really reliable source who are very good on like reporting on things and them coming true. According to WrestleVotes, the final card of WWE's biggest event of the year isn't close to being set in stone, with the outlet suggesting that most of it is back to square one. In a preview report that Vince McMahon is furious about supposed leaks regarding matches. Ugh, Vince, man, like leaks are gonna happen. Don't really change your matches based on leaks. Like, and there was a lot of matches that were good that were leaked, but as of right in WrestleMania 30, what 4 weeks away, and WWE have Fastlane next week, which is just mental.
Mm.
And because when we look back at No Way Out, it was literally Rumble, No Way Out, Mania, and that was really good. Now we've got like Elimination Chamber and Fastlane. But yeah, Kieran, most of the storylines that we thought we knew and were getting invested in are no longer, or we don't know if they're no longer, but they're no longer set in stone, which is mental.
Yeah, I can't really imagine just a lot of them being totally ditched or whatever, but I don't know. I guess we'll see what happens. I'm more interested in the attendance there, where it's like they want 45,000 people for each night. They're
Oh,
selling tickets actively, so it's not just a rumor anymore.
That was gonna be my next story. 45,000 each night. I mean, the first report was 20,000, and I was like, okay, because America's opening back up and they're doing quite well, which is great to see. Like, it's for all our Americans, it's great to see you guys are getting back on track, and hopefully we'll follow suit. But that's another issue for another day and a completely different podcast than us. Um, but yeah, it's just mental. 45,000 people. Ooh, ooh. Um,
It's the
espe-
biggest event since the pandemic started or something in the US.
Yeah, they better not have Ric Flair in that arena, man. I swear to God, like he better not be at that show, or like half the people. Vince shouldn't be at that show. There's 45,000 Americans coming in.
No. Look, we'll see what
Especially
happens. Who knows? Maybe people won't even buy any tickets. I don't know. I wouldn't go to an event with 35,000 people. I guess it's fucking Florida people, isn't it? Like, I don't know.
it's Mania, and listen, if you're thinking with your wrestling head on, fans back in the arena, great. But if you're thinking with your sense head on, yeah, yeah. A load of WWE news this week. We had the leg slapping ban. I don't think we really need to talk about that. WWE just banned leg slaps, which is Johnny Gargano
Yeah,
and Adam Cole are really upset.
freaked out over it, but like, who cares? It just,
Yeah,
it doesn't really matter.
I don't care. I saw a video of Johnny Gargano leg slapping when he was chopping someone, and I found that really funny. But yeah, we're gonna get into like what we think about Mania when we're talking about the weekly shows, because I think that's the easiest way to do it, and it's a lot more entertaining for you than just rambling on about kind of stories that we haven't discussed yet. As far as this is just we know about Vince and putting his yes men in place and putting his people in who will listen to him and just say, well done, Vince. John Laurinaitis is back at in his talent relations role that he had back in the day. You remember he was an on-screen role and he was known as the talent relations around the CM Punk, Summer of Punk era. But he is back in role and he'll be reporting to Mr. Mark Carrano, the most unlucky man in the business. Mark Carrano is the man who always on screen has been told like to fire someone or being told that to tell someone that they're not good enough, and he just is in the firing line. And the man who's reporting to him is Mr. John Laurinaitis. And Kieran, this is just sad. Like, no offense, but like having Bruce Pritchard back remember when they had Heyman and Bischoff and it was kind of like this new thing. Now Pritchard is back in the role as vice writer. I think he's one of the head writers. And John Laurinaitis is back as Vince's yes man and the man who will be overseeing talent relations. What did you think of this? I think it's just a sign of Vince just not understanding the modern day product and just resorting to his yes man ways.
I don't fucking know. I don't know. Yeah. I mean, part of me is like, well, nothing's working ever. Nothing. Anytime they do anything different, it never works. There's always at least one of the shows is really terrible. SmackDown's been good the last while, I guess.
Raw's been improving. I'll give Raw credit. They've had some good. They had some good. We'll talk about Raw in a minute. They've had some good stuff, but overall, it's been a bit of drizzling shit.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm sure it'll be fine. As usual, I won't even notice the difference.
No, we've become pretty used to being not disappointed as of this moment. Here's a funny story, Kieran. I don't know if you've read this yet, but the Jon Moxley story. I don't know if you've heard that. This isn't an AEW story, but WWE has run into some issues trying to re-trademark the name Dean Ambrose after it became apparent they required the written consent of the man who used the name Jon Moxley. And then all about Ambrose. But apparently, according to Heel by Nature, WWE have failed to identify whether Dean Ambrose is the name of a living individual. This includes an actual name, a nickname, a pseudonym, or a stage name. So apparently, the USPTO still required the person who was assigned that name to provide written consent. In this case, Jonathan Good must sign the document. Imagine Jon Moxley getting a call the day after an exploding barbed wire that match. Hey, John, can you please sign this document for WWE so they can have your name?
It's very odd. It must be a clerical error or some shit. There's no way they just let that slide. Like, usually when they're making up contracts.
You think this is like, yeah, but for WWE, this is a lot because unless they get this signature, they will not be able to sell Dean Ambrose merch, which I would assume is still selling decently well. Not really well, but I'm assuming a lot of young wrestlers still have like that kind of. I mean, it's WWE merch. People buy it, and a lot of the Shield merch, a lot of the old Shield merch was cool. Like fair, like it was one. Like a lot of the old Shield stuff was pretty cool. But yeah, they can't sell any merch or sell anything or do anything with the John Moxley with the Dean Ambrose name until they get John Moxley to sign it. John Moxley does seem like that kind. But to be fair, John Moxley does seem like the kind of guy who would just be like, "All right, fair enough." I don't think he holds any grudges. I don't think he's that pissy to be like, "No, I won't sign it." But I could be wrong. But I don't know.
I mean, looking at WWE's shop right now, Dean Ambrose isn't there to begin with, so I don't think they're selling Dean Ambrose merch. And even if they wanted to, they could just do like Lunatic Fringe because they have that copyrighted. They don't have to have it say Dean Ambrose.
Yeah, but it's a doubly it's a doubly pride thing as well. They want the name. They own you. They want that, like guaranteed.
Yeah. I don't
Because
know. It would be weird if John didn't. I think why would he want to go around calling himself Dean Ambrose or have ownership over that name? He can just make the company happy or some shit. I don't know.
yeah, no. He does seem like the kind of guy who wouldn't hold a grudge. And he probably doesn't give a fuck anymore. To be brutally honest, he's too busy having fun. But
Why
yeah,
burn the bridge? You know.
yeah. Plans for the NXT Women's Championship here.
Ooh.
So this is Brian Alvarez, and this has been a bit weird because I don't know if you've noticed, but Io Shirai's title reign, it hasn't been set the world afire. The pay-per-view match went 12 minutes. She had a 10-minute match with Toni Storm, which was great on Wednesday. And they pulled a terrible rating. We'll talk about that, but they pulled a terrible rating for a show that had 2 title matches on it and a really good main event. But Toni, she hasn't been getting like 20-minute matches. She's been getting like 12 or 11-minute matches. And you can kind of see that her title reign is coming to an end. And remember when we discussed this, when Raquel Gonzalez won War Games, we were like, is she going to be the one? And Brian Alvarez of Wrestling Observer Radio is reporting that WWE have big plans for Gonzalez, and it was decided a while ago, there goes the sellotape off the top of my drawer, decided a while ago that she would be the one to dethrone Io Shirai and take the women's title from her. So we can only assume that Mania weekend, Io Shirai will lose the belt to Raquel Gonzalez, and Raquel Gonzalez will look like a fucking star, and I am all for it, because we haven't had a big, like, monstrous heel champion in NXT, women's champion in NXT. Correct me if I'm wrong, but this is something different. And like, what?
Shayna Baszler, Nia Jax, Asuka, they were all big undefeated
Well,
people.
as in like Nia Jax, Shayna Baszler and Asuka were like, I will legit beat the shit out of you. Whereas like with them mixed up, whereas Raquel Gonzalez is just this kind of like China, as we said, like don't want to compare to China, but she's like this kind of larger than life, a lot taller than a lot of women, really strong, and has improved and has improved her. Yeah, but I think it's something different. There is no. I just feel like there is something different here that they could do, because in the pandemic, it's all about like standing out and something different. And if a Raquel Gonzalez title reign with like Dakota Kai being that little narky like sidekick after they lost the tag belts, which we'll talk about, that was really weird. But yeah, I'm really all for this. I don't know what you think, Kieran, but we did kind of agree that we're kind of big fans of her after the War Games match, and I would like to see what they do with the title reign.
Yeah. We were harsh on her at first, but we've come around on her big time. I'd be up for seeing her. I think Io has been a fine champion, but hasn't had anything too amazing, I suppose.
She doesn't have a character, sadly. Like, I'm sure they could make it. I'm sure that she has a character that she could bring to the table, but they're just not letting her. She's just kind of like, I'm really good at wrestling, which can get a bit boring when like you have to say, like, she's a really good wrestler. Let's not no if buts or maybes about it, but I think she might be going up to the main roster, or maybe even just going back to Japan soon. We'll see what happens. I don't think Vince would use her on the main roster very well at all. Far too small, and that's not like a personal opinion. That's literally just the WWE way. Like, she's basically like the female Rey Mysterio. She does use a lot of Rey Mysterio's moves. Hopefully, maybe she might be able to do something similar to Rey Mysterio, where she might be able to get a title run. But we'll see what happens. But as far as Raquel Gonzalez goes, yeah, we were harsh on her at first because she came in and debuted after that TLC match with Candice LeRae and Dakota Kai, and she just looked a bit bland. But then you like saw the matches with Rhea Ripley, and you're like, oh shit, she can actually work. And no, her with the NXT title just be something different. And maybe they could, like, the dynamic of the matches, like big person trying to, like, someone who's smaller than Raquel trying to chop her down and her just like overpowering them. I think they could have great matches. And then whoever beats her is going to be elevated tenfold. Like if it's like
Yeah.
imagine if Tegan Knox came back from the knee injury and beat up her old best friend, like beat Dakota Kai to like get a title match and won it at like a takeover in Brooklyn in August when they have fans back or something. That would be brilliant. Like something like that. Like they have a lot of opportunities, and I'm like, because NXT hasn't been great. I'm not a big fan of NXT at the moment, but there is some good stuff in there. Anyway, 45,000. Here's one, Kieran. Mania. Asuka could miss WrestleMania, which is really, really. She's the Raw Women's
Sydney.
champ. She's the Raw Women's champion, and if I hadn't have been told that on Monday Night Raw, I would not have remembered it. Sadly, she's been missing from television since taking a stiff kick to the head on the February 22nd edition of Raw, and she has a concussion. Now this is amazing because Asuka is known. There's a match with Asuka and Minoru Suzuki on YouTube, which is Minoru Suzuki genuinely like kicking the crap out of her, and she is a tough son of a bitch. So if she's out with a show, but this is WWE at the end of the day. If someone has a concussion, they will take them off and they'll put them through the protocol. She does seem like she quite seriously hurt with the concussion. We don't know if she's going to be back, but a Raw, like if she's not, if they know that she can't make it, they have to vacate that belt and do something with it. Because I can't see the Raw Women's title not being on. I don't want to see Charlotte Flair. I want to hear your thoughts, Karen, but I have an idea of what I want if Asuka has to vacate the belt. And even if she doesn't, I have an idea of what I want that doesn't involve Charlotte Flair, because I know Flair has to be on Mania, but I don't want to see her anywhere near a title shot.
I don't know. I like Charlotte. I'd be up for seeing her do something. Well, Rhea Ripley's coming up, isn't she? Just give it to her. Have
Yeah.
like whatever match be at Mania, assuming Asuka vacates, just have Rhea win it. That would be pretty cool.
I'm gonna throw a curveball in at you because did you see Raw Talk? Peyton Royce's promo. She deserves to be in a prominent spot there. That promo she got in Raw Talk was brilliant. Her versus Charlotte versus Asuka if Asuka's fit. Her versus Charlotte versus Asuka versus Rhea. I mean, if they can get that going and like put like, I don't think she'll win, but Peyton Royce for that promo alone deserves to have a prominent spot on Mania. Like fantastic, like brilliant, brilliant promo straight from the heart. Raw Talk has been the scene for a lot of really, really good stuff. Like you see the clips on Twitter, and some of the promos are fantastic, and it's really, really cool. And a lot of that is down to Heyman. I think Peyton Royce would deserve it. I know she's not as good in the ring, but a fatal four will protect her. I think if she did her iconic shtick, and maybe she's coming out, and then you know the way because Mania is both Raw and SmackDown. Maybe if Billie Kay came out to help her, and you got that Mania moment of the Iconics reuniting, trying to get her to help her win. Yeah,
Yeah.
like if Mania is going to be different, do something exciting. I don't want to like I said I don't want to see Charlotte in a match, but she will be. I just want to see something different, if you know what I mean. I don't want to see Charlotte versus Asuka because we've already seen that. I don't want to see Charlotte versus Rhea. We've already seen that literally last year. Do something different and get another star over. I know WWE don't do it, but if you put Peyton Royce out there and have her a big iconics moment with Billie Kay, that's a moment.
I don't know. I kind of feel like Billie Kay's a bit beyond the iconic stuff. I think them breaking up kind of, well, it surprised me because I was very much like, oh, Peyton Royce is the good one here. But no, Billie Kay's actually the person who like has consistently been good on her show, whereas Peyton Royce has just floundered around, not really doing anything for me
Yeah,
until she cuts one half decent promo on, a talk show. you
that's
know?
all. That's all it takes. I mean, to be honest, Natalia won it. Natalia and Tamina are a tag team, and no offense, but Natalia and Tamina are the two most uninspiring wrestlers I've ever seen in my life, and having them as a tag team is just. I'm not interested whatsoever. And if she's in the title match, I will not be watching. Like I don't invest in Natalia as a wrestler whatsoever, and I never have. And Tamina just throws a super kick now and again and shows up every 6 months as someone's bodyguard. Remember she had that
Mm,
one. She had that one babyface run against Bailey, if I remember correctly, like last year, out of nowhere. She was in a title feud with Bailey as a babyface.
yeah, that was
Could have
weird.
sworn,
Oh,
could have sworn that happened. But anyway, yeah, Asuka. I really hope she recovers. She's a mad bitch. So if she's like 20% fit, she will drag herself out there because she could beat up half the roster, male or female, in real life. She's mad. Like there's no stopping her. So um, anything else? We'll talk about AEW in a while. Anna Jay undergoes surgery. This is really good. I really love Anna Jay as a car on BT and as a wrestler. And she injured her shoulder training and she had to undergo surgery. Dislocated and tore a few ligaments. 6 to 12 months was the time frame, but that's usually a wrestling. Hopefully she's back sooner. She underwent successful surgery. I hope she's back soon. She was really, really improving. Like really, really cool finisher move. Really, really cool thing with the Dark Order, and wish her all the best. And I hope she can do her BT skits even in the saloon. But yeah, no, I hope she's back soon because her and Ty Conti were fantastic. Like two of the most improved women's wrestlers I know. Anna Jay hasn't had a TV match in front of a crowd. Like she started wrestling 2 years ago, and
Yeah.
when she got into AEW, the whole world shut down, and she's improved tenfold, and it's really, really cool to see. So hopefully, when she comes back. But there's a big story this week, and the biggest story this week that's taken the wrestling world by storm is concerning Mr. Andrade Cien Almas, Kieran. He requested his
Yes.
release on Monday, and in no surprise at all, it was swiftly rejected.
Fair enough.
What do you think of this? What do you think is kind of we've seen Buddy Murphy do a similar thing where he was talking about how like he's been overlooked. He did really well to cut around the kind of Ray and Dominic and Aaliyah was using me, and now he's back on TV. Andrade, this is weird because he is in a relationship with Ric Flair's Charlotte Flair, who is related to Ric Flair, who is one of Vince's guys. This is very strange. Like I don't know what has happened, but for someone who, let's be honest, if he's with Charlotte Flair, he's gonna like he's doing okay, is unhappy, and there's no creator for him whatsoever. Do you think this is gonna be a case of, oh, you're unhappy, let's stick you in a big Mania match and then dump you back down the card straight after, or do you think it's gonna be you're sitting on your arse until the rest of your contract rolls out Ambrose style because you pissed us off?
Ambrose didn't sit in his contract for ages. They let.
No, as in they buried him. They put him in a story with Nia Jackson, had him shooting like injections up his arse. Like,
No, that's overacting to the whole.
oh no, that Ambrose final Peter like run, he was miserable and he was angry and WWE
The
just
very
buried him.
last stuff, the last couple of weeks was good. I remember it. I remember being like, "That's an okay
Oh
way to go
no,
out."
they gave him the goodbye, but before that he was
Yeah.
fighting Nia Jax on house shows. Like, but anyway, Andrade, what were your thoughts when you saw this, and what are your thoughts subsequently?
I mean, he hasn't done anything in a long time, so it would make sense if he wants to leave. If I don't know whether I don't know. They probably don't want him to leave, but also I don't think he's a big enough draw to like. It wouldn't. Who gives a shit if he goes to like AEW or some shit? You know, it doesn't matter. It
Well,
really.
no, he is huge. To be fair, his masked character in Japan was huge. He was in the original Los Ingobernables stable in Mexico.
Yeah, but
Uh,
viewers are AEW really gonna get by having like the fucking 30 ex-WWE guy in that
no, I'm
show?
not talking about AEW. I'm talking about New Japan. I think he might, if he ever goes, he's going to go back to New Japan and kind of do that
Yeah,
kind of.
fine. They have no reason to keep him,
No,
so
but New,
they do. I don't know. I don't really mind.
New Japan is uninspiring at the moment, like really uninspiring.
Mhm.
Even for all the hardcore fans, you can tell that just
What happened?
Gato booking is fucking dreadful. Um,
What happened with all the New Japan and AEW stuff? Did that ever go anywhere?
It is. They still have a working relationship. Speaking of that, Impact had a pay per view last night. And
Sacrifice.
Rich Swann defeated Moose to retain the Impact World Title, and that means it is Kenny Omega versus Rich Swann on April 24th, and the winner gets both belts. It's AEW title versus Impact title. I don't like this because if Kenny has the belt, Kenny, I know he's a belt collector. He's got the AEW belt, he's got the AAA Mega de Campeon belt, and he's got he's got all three belts. I just don't know how you take the Impact World title off him because Hangman Page needs to be the man. The next person to beat Kenny Omega in 9 months' time needs to be Hangman Page, and that continued this week. They're booking him perfectly. They're keeping it. Every week I'm scared that they're going to fuck it up, but they don't. The Hangman stuff is beautiful. I cried. There was one moment on Revolution which we're going to do that I cried at, and we'll get on to it. But anyway, yeah, Kenny shouldn't be going for the Impact belt. This just should be like an exhibition match. But in other news, Gallows and Anderson lost the tag belts to Finn Juice. David Finlay and Juice Robinson defeated Gallows and Anderson to win the Impact World Tag Team Championships. So New Japan Talent wins the Impact Tag Team titles. This probably frees up Gallows and Anderson to go and do more full-time stuff with AEW. Gallows is weird on BT. If you just watch the skits, he's a crazy. They always say that they don't like.
I hate the comedy.
You hate the comment. He's gonna come. He's gonna come. This week was just the same thing about the Vince stuff with Tyus O'Neil. He's gonna puke. He popped Brandon Cutler Viagra and just going, he's gonna come. It was like,
He's gonna be funny. He's gonna
oh.
puke. Oh, that. But fucking like, it's just proof that like all that shit in WWE, they're like Doctor Gallows and Anderson or some shit. I'm pretty sure that was their idea, because these cunts are not funny. They're just not.
They're
Like,
they're an acquired taste. They're an acquired taste. They're an acquired taste. But yeah, but anyway, that's as much Impact news as you'll get out of us. Move on to weekly shows or AEW Revolution, $6 million in revenue, the highest pay-per-view numbers in the organization's history, and also the best pay-per-view numbers non-WWE wrestling event in the United States since 1999 when WCW was in existence. That is huge, and that's a good segue because Kieran,
yes, me.
this AEW Revolution was literally, I was so hyped for it. Everyone was so hyped for it. It was like WrestleMania. It was literally like a WrestleMania feel. If you're a big fan of AEW, everyone was so excited because I finally felt excited for a pay-per-view. And I was like, this is going to be great. And I was really excited to watch with my friends on it. Really, really. And listen, for 99% of that show, it was fucking brilliant. Like, it was brilliant stuff. Like, can we first talk about... I don't know if you watched a lot of it, Kieran.
I watched the main event.
Okay, you watched the main event. But let me just say, the final four of that Battle Royal, John Silver, Pac, Phoenix, and Jungle Boy, was amazing. When Pac and John Silver were going at it, I was like, John Silver finally getting a recognition. I shed a tear. But the final two between Jungle Boy and Phoenix, you need to go and see. That was amazing. Like, legit, Phoenix is on fire. And Jungle Boy has been, by beating Dax Harwood and beating, like, in the FTR storyline, and then this, he looks like €1 million. Like, genuinely, it was insane. Like, the crowd was fantastic. The final four was brilliant. It was a fantastic battle royal, which we don't get often. Even the Jericho against the Bucks match, the near falls I bit on, like, they were really, really good. Miro and Kip Sabian, we'll get on. I mean, Jim Cornette is in the news with Miro and Kip Sabian this week. We forgot to talk about that. Calling Penelope Ford a unfortunate name that you should never call a woman, especially on the week of International Women's Day. For him to call Penelope, for him to call Penelope that, and he's a cunt. Jim Cornette, you are a dick, and you're not gonna, but you are a disgusting human being, and I feel for Penelope and Kip, who were just getting relentless abuse. Miro was not happy, and if Miro rips his head off, ever finds him and rips his head off, I will be very happy. Kip Sabian saying, "We'll be happy when it's your funeral." Bit rough, but I can understand the frustration when your fiance is being called to something that she shouldn't be. But yeah, AEW, that tag match was okay. The cinematic match, Kieran, Darby Allin and Sting finally back in the ring. Darby Allin directed 90% of that cinematic match, and that's really cool. That's a really cool thing. Darby Allin's a young filmmaker, as Tony Khan said, and that was really cool. It was so the elbow drop from the top of the building. It was like a rundown American haunted house. Really cool stuff. Protected Sting perfectly. I loved it. So 99% of this pay-per-view is good, but the analogy I'm going to use is, first of all, we'll get on to Christian Cage, Kieran. Before I get on to that, actually, what do you think of Ethan Page debuted in the ladder match? The ladder match was cool. Scorpio Sky winning was cool. Pentagon and Cody as a feud going forward on Dynamite was really cool. Pentagon is back to being an iron-snapping dickhead, and Phoenix and Pac are a tag team. I'm very happy about that. Very cool. Christian Cage, Kieran, what did you think? What do you think? Christian is in AEW.
Yeah, I think Khan should not have hyped it up. I think he's an idiot. He always does that, and it's not that this disappointed. It's just that it was you were whelmed. You weren't overwhelmed. You were just like, oh, okay, fine. And it would have been a lot cooler and a much bigger deal if it just Tony Khan didn't mention it. I mean, I guess he's here. I would have I don't know. He's going for the title, right?
We'll get on to that in a bit, but I was okay with it. Like, I was like, I just hope he doesn't go near Kenny. Just don't go near Kenny at the start. Obviously, didn't happen. But no, I'm interested to see what happens. Him just going to the Royal Rumble. He said he was nervous coming out to AEW. He was nervous about the Rumble. That's kind of an interesting take. Signed the contract. he looks really good shape. If he builds up stars and has some cool matches, then yeah, fine. Same as Sting. Just don't have him take over. I don't mind it. AEW have used their legends very well. Jake the Snake Roberts has made Lance Archer look like €1,000,000, and now Lance Archer doesn't need Jake Roberts, and that fades away. Tully Blanchard is doing some really cool stuff with FTR. Vicky Guerrero can fuck off. But like they've done really well with the legends, so I'm gonna give them the benefit of the doubt here and see what happens. It wasn't like a huge star, but what were people expecting? Like Brock Lesnar was never going to show up in AEW. CM Punk is not interested in wrestling. Sorry, what?
Tony Khan shouldn't have said anything. It was just stupid of him.
Oh no, Tony Khan was a huge Christian fan. So
yeah, I know he was, but like, shut up, man. You know, stop ruining it for everyone else when people inevitably get fucking disappointed. My thing here is, I think I would have much rather see an Edge and Christian reunion at some point, which, considering how it's both of these guys' last run, most likely seems less and less likely now, which kind of sucks.
Yeah, it's sad. But anyway, the analogy I was going to use to get when we get on to the main event, a pay-per-view. Sorry, a meal. If you're having a meal, Kieran, like your starter can be great, your main course, your steak can be fantastic, but if your dessert is disappointing and shit, you're gonna leave upset. And this match was brilliant, like a really, really good. I really, really enjoyed this match. The one winged angel and the way he didn't kick out the one winged angel, but he put the rope break that exploded, the barbed wire that he went through on the outside, and the visual of like Mox like lying in the barbed wire, the just goriness, and then the non-explosion stuff that they had was really good. What did you think of the match up until the last 10 seconds? Like, I thought it was I really enjoyed it, and a lot of people agree that the match was really good up until the final few minutes.
I think the match would have, well, for me, would have been a lot better if it had been the exact same minus all the explosions, which I think took the suspense out of every single time they went off. I was like, this is stupid. They just looked, no, they looked fine. Visually, most of them, except the ending, obviously, looked fine. But it's just like, why are you hitting him with a baseball bat that explodes?
No, because Kenny was given a baseball bat by the Gallows and Anderson, so they obviously rigged it with explosives themselves. That made sense. I'll disagree.
He's exploding, and he's like kicking out and shit still, and it's like, what are you doing?
Moxie's a mad bastard.
I know he's mad or whatever, but it's just like, I don't, after the 15th explosion, I don't really give a shit anymore, because you can survive anything. It's just a bit too far into the realm of like,
bad shit mental.
Good shit, yeah.
But anyway,
I was gonna like this going in, so it's not the match's fault. It's just my personal taste.
Yeah, but listen, okay, so this pay-per-view was really enjoyable, and I really, really liked it. The end was just disappointing. Like, it was the first problem. Okay, so everyone's seen it, but let's just give our thoughts. When Mox's handcuffs came undone and he had to pretend he was handcuffed, and I was like, okay, that's fine. But listen, they beat him up. The one wing danger through the chair was insane. They beat him up. The countdown goes. They leave. When Eddie Kingston came out and pushed Butcher and the Blade away, I was like, holy shit, this is amazing. Like, Eddie Kingston's getting his big. This is going to take Eddie Kingston to the next level. This big babyface turn, helping his old-time friend. And he covered him, and then they were literally sparklers. Now, I don't know what happened. For a fact, it was a botch. I know for a fact it was a botch.
Oh, yeah.
They did test runs. They were fine, but apparently it didn't work out. Maybe something jigged in when they were doing the earlier explosions. Listen, let's not speculate. We'll be here for ages seeing what happens. It was bad in the moment, and I was really scared of how they were going to play it off. Now, listen. Me and Kieran have two different opinions, and we're going to go on to Dynamite now. We'll get on to the opening match in a minute. But if Moxley is away from this title picture, I am very, very happy with Eddie and Mox as a tag team just beating the shit out of people. I love this promo. The Impact pay for the bomb line was brilliant. Eddie Kingston talking about his prison time and how the PTSD was the reason why he laid down, because people were like, why the fuck is Eddie Kingston selling sparklers? I really enjoyed it. I enjoyed everything about the promo. The reference to the cartoon. I haven't watched the cartoon. It's an old, what's it, DMCA, or did it have like whatever written on it? The bomb. Moxley like just looking really drunk. slagging Kingston for not coming out, and he's like, got to put my docs on, got to get my eyebrows done. I loved all of it. I really enjoyed it because I like these two, and if they're gonna be away from the title picture, them beating the fuck out of people, starting with Gallows and Anderson next week in a really interesting match. I'm happy with it. They, as bad as it was, and they still can't be excused for they've booked themselves out a little bit further out of the hole, and I'm very happy with the direction they're going forward because there's a lot of storylines I like, and we'll see where this goes. But Kieran, I know you disagree, but I really and a lot of people I've spoken to because I like to talk to people who are enjoy the product, like who watch the product and what they thought of it, and people seem to be really interested in this because it's taking Moxley away, but it's also really good.
Yeah, I like the idea of him and Kingston being a tag team. I think that's cool. I think Moxley, I'm interested to see what he does when he's not in the main event. Like, it'll give him a bit more freedom. I think it'll add a bit more tension to his matches because he could actually fucking lose. And I think him and Kingston have good chemistry. I thought this promo was the lamest, dorkiest shit I've ever fucking seen, and was just embarrassing. The fucking no, it was so like Eddie Kingston being like, "Oh well, the reason I sold it is because I had a PTSD flashback to being on Rikers Island." Like, fuck off! So fucking lame. Are you kidding me?
No, man. If you understand the story, it's very good.
No, it's lame. Just don't fucking do some lame, shitty in joke about how Impact paid for the bomb or some shit. Or
no,
Kane
that
didn't.
was good. I like. No, that was quirky. That was quirky. John Moxley just taking the piss.
But like, imagine it's because the finish, I think, objectively is it was terrible. It just didn't work. But like, imagine if at the Hell in a Cell where Seth Rollins fought the Fiend, and it was like one of the worst finishes we've ever seen. Imagine if after that they did a weird like, oh well, someone else, the mallet was fixed or something, or it was full of cork, or oh, the referee thought it was a regular match. Just fucking, take your shit and move on. You don't make a weird in-jokey, like weird continuity filled promo that just goes nowhere and achieves nothing but just making yourself a bit of
this did achieve something. This got Moxley, and Moxley was like, I got my drinking buddy back. And Kingston taking the piss out of Too Sweet said he's going to beat the shit out of Gallows and Anderson. Listen, like wrestling is like ice cream. Some people like chocolate, some people like strawberry. I like this promo. Kieran doesn't like it, and that's really cool because it brings a discussion. It's two different sides of the argument. So yeah, let's move on.
It's not like on Reddit or some shit where you go into Squared Circle and it's just people screaming at each other.
Oh my god! It's like, I like this. I really like this. Fuck you. You don't like it.
Yeah.
It's like, you can't have an opinion. You must have the same opinion as me. But yeah. Anyway, Phoenix and so basically, Phoenix and Pac got their world title shot at Revolution. So this week they have Matt Jackson versus Ray Phoenix to open the show. This was insane. Like, they had a fantastic match. There was a spot in here where Matt Jackson kicked Phoenix in the face. Phoenix did a neck spring and then kicked up and hit him in the face as well. Phoenix is on another level. I love Phoenix right now. He's so good as a babyface. His brother is brilliant as an arm-snapping dickhead. And they're in the right place now. And him and Pac, Kieran, Phoenix and Pac murdering cunts, I'm happy with that.
Yeah, I'm well up for that.
They had a match before Revolution where they just destroyed two jobbers. Like, they annihilated them. It was hilarious. I love squash matches where they just annihilate their opponents. Cody Rhodes beat a jobber in a match, and then after the match, they're about to have an interview, but Penta interrupted with Alex Oberhantes, who is the AEW Spanish commentator, and he translated saying that he's lucky that he didn't focus more on the arm in the ladder match because Pentagon took him out with a Canadian Destroyer on the ladder, and they had the whole Cody was injured thing. And basically, Penta said, it is a great promo because Penta's just, I don't know if you've seen Penta in his dickhead steak here, but he's amazing. He just goes, you're lucky that I didn't focus on your arm more, because if I did, you wouldn't be able to hold your newborn baby girl. And Cody exploded and just went down and had a big brawl. And next week on the show titled Paddy's Day Slam, not Patty's Day. Well done, Tony Khan. Paddy's Day Slam, which is a stacked card. It is Pentagon, Penta L0M versus Cody Rhodes, and I'm happy with this. If this is a nice little feud if this is a feud where Penta next week destroys Cody and writes him off for a while to take care of Brandy and heal up his shoulder injury, which I think is legit, I'm happy with that because Penta snapping arms and like building his way up to a title match, I'm again happy with that. And Cody off for a while. I'd like to see Cody get a little bit of time off for his own sake. I just don't. I mean, he's good, but there was more pyro in his entrance than there was at the end of the AEW Dynamite, like, at the end of the Revolution match. Anyway,
wow, right? Surely he'll have some sort of maternity leave or some shit whenever his kid is born.
Both of them will. I think Moxley less so. I think Moxley's one of them he's fighting Josh Barnett in April, like in a Bloodsport match. Moxley's one of them who seems like he just will do anything. Like, and Renee and Renee is
your family, man. You know?
Yeah. Oh no, he will. He will take a few weeks off. But I just want to put this out there. Renee Young's podcast is fucking great. She's really, really good at it. The guests she's getting on, like Christian, Big Show, a few different other guests. The Miz one was really good, but she's just super cool. And I think if Moxley wanted to wrestle, then she'd let him. I assume. Yeah.
How would you write off Cody Rhodes and Jon Moxley when they eventually do have to go? What's your big cliffhanger? Why are they leaving? I know you like the fantasy, but
well, I just want Penta to snap Cody's arm in half because that just elevates Penta, because Penta is known for just his best work is just being a dick. Like it just is so good. As far as Moxley goes, I thought the death match would have been a great way to write him off, but I don't know. You'd have to kill him, like genuinely. Like it's gone to that point where Moxley just doesn't give a fuck. Get back to me on that one. I have to think about that till next week. Like, I don't know what you do with Moxley. I don't know what Moxley even wants to do himself. I think he just wants to keep wrestling, which is great to see. But
turn Kingston on him or something, because I think Kingston would be a good heel.
Yeah, no, Kingston, and I'm not happy that Butcher and Blade are with Matt Hardy, but I'm happy Eddie Kingston moved away from them because it was. Listen, AEW are keeping us guessing, and they made the best out of the situation. But anyway, the next match was given away for free on YouTube because the audio from the NBA All-Star game was coming through during Ethan Page's singles debut. If you don't know Ethan Page, he is one half of the tag team, the North from Impact, but he signed with AEW. He was a surprise entrant in the ladder match. He quit Impact and he is now an AEW star. He beat Lee Johnson. Blah, blah, blah. Move on. Sting had a promo where Lance Archer interrupted and Jake the Snake Roberts, as he's walking on stage, just goes, "I'm gonna get you, Stinger." It's like, that's okay. But yeah, so Sting versus Lance Archer seems to be kind of teased, but we'll see what happens. Now this was interesting. So Don Callis and the Good Brothers and Kenny Omega came out, all arrogant, yeah. Callis covered up the lack of explosion, saying the heels took it away from the fans, being like, we took the explosion away from the fans. Ha ha, fuck you. Jon Moxley and Eddie Kingston, he basically just called. This was started off bad, but then it got good. Moxley didn't get to, Moxley was like, Moxley's not a martyr, and Kingston is an idiot because he didn't get his heroics. Kingston interrupted Omega, and Callis just ran his mouth about Kingston to just saying you're a worthless piece of shit. When I had you in Impact, you failed at every time. You were meant to be the guy, but you failed because you couldn't, you were just unprofessional. And he goes, "Kingston, you've got 10 seconds to get out of the ring," and took the piss out of 10 seconds. And this is where it got weird, because Kenny Omega said 69 me, Don, and they had an aerial view where Don Callis 69 Kenny Omega in the middle of a wrestling ring, and it was hilarious. It was weird, but it was fucking funny. So then he goes, "What do you hope to achieve, Eddie?" And then Eddie, Kingston was Moxley was like, "Hit me, Eddie, hit me." Eddie, obviously being Eddie Kingston, punched him in the mouth. Good Brothers beat him up until Moxley made the save. They beat the shit out of him. Christian Cage came out, stared down Omega, nearly hit a kill switch. I don't like he's gone astray after the belt. But Kingston and Moxley versus the Good Brothers next week on Paddy's Day Slam? Yes, please. But Kieran, what do you think about Christian going for the belt? This is what I feared, and I really don't want. Maybe if this happens, but then he goes away and maybe builds himself up and gets a win-loss record, then okay. But I just no.
Yeah.
Not straight away. What What did you think of Matt? Have you seen anything of this Maki Ito character, Ken?
Look, I think she's fine. I don't think she's good in the ring.
No, she's not good in the ring at all. No.
The bit where she was hitting, I don't know who, but she was hitting someone on the head with a mic. Who was it?
That would have been Sheeta.
Sheeta, yeah. Looked fucking horrific and terrible. I think this bad singer gimmick is fine. I also think it's weird how much people like her, and a little creepy.
Oh no, but she keeps calling people simps. This is an interesting story that I was only told yesterday, Kieran. She was part of a big pop group in Japan. I'll send you the documentary. It's like 20 minutes. She was part of a big pop group in Japan, and she was told by the label that you're not good looking and you're not talented, and she got fired. Wow. So she became a pro wrestler, and this is what the pop singer thing is about. She's learning English, and she just is just saying hello, motherfuckers. She was on Dark with the Dark Order. She's calling people simps. Yeah. And just like, it's funny. I like it. Listen, she needs to get better in the ring, but her character covers it up
very, very well. And Japanese pop groups are like fucked up, man. The whole culture there surrounding music and the production music is so weird. It feels so inhuman. It's horrible.
Listen, the culture in Japan is something that needs to be looked at more because it's a scary thing. Like how, like it's not it's not a generalization, but there is a lot of like just bad treatment of like females and people who are like, and it's the same with K-pop as well. The stories about K-pop in Korea is scary. Like they get like to 24 and people are like, you're too old, we don't need you anymore, and just throw you off in the street and make all the money off you. Like it's
you say that, but I just remembered that we probably should say this, because unfortunately our Western, Irish, American, whatever treatment of women isn't perfect.
No.
Some would tweet out #not all men. Please stop listening to this podcast because I don't want to fucking talk to you.
It's been a strange week. The protests in England. Sarah Everard, am I getting that name right?
I think that's it. Yeah.
Sorry if I'm getting it wrong. I apologize, but listen, the police needed to read the giant fucking room yesterday. Like, there's a police being suspected of this crime, and the police are out there handcuffing women. Like, really? Like, really? Like, listen, the Western world can't really say, well, listen, we'll get down into a rabbit hole. But if you fucking use any other excuse other than he's a dickhead and a rapist, then fuck off out of the podcast. There's no, she was wearing a short skirt, she was alone. Fuck off. Yeah. If you have a mother and you have a daughter, a daughter, or if you have a sister, then just think about what you're saying and how it would affect them if you said it. Anyway, yeah. So the 6-man women's match was really, really solid. Like, it didn't really make a lot of sense. There was a bit of a miss. Like, Rhea Mizunami's really good. A lot of personalities in here are really good. I like a lot of them. And it built to this at the end. Britt Baker and Thunder Rosa are finally coming to a boiling point, Kieran. And the first ever women's. This is a great little kind of lighten upper after what we just discussed. The women are main eventing Dynamite for the first time ever. It is Thunder Rosa versus Britt Baker on Paddy's Day Slam in an unsanctioned match, Kieran. Their feud has come to a boiling point. I'm okay with this. An unsanctioned match between two really, really good female wrestlers. I'm looking forward to
it. Yeah, should be good.
Should be good. It's building up to a nice card. Scorpio Sky against Darby Allin. Really good TNT title match. Darby selling the injuries. There's a really cool counter of a cutter on the outside to Darby Allin. And Darby Allin won with a roll-up. And Scorpio Sky snapped, turned heel, beat the crap out of Darby Allin. And yeah, this is what we needed. Nice. Scorpio Sky's gone into a singles run, distancing himself from SCU. Turning heel. Beautiful. We love to see it. Lovely. And we get to the main event. I don't know how I'm going to invest in Jericho as a babyface, but I love this, Karen.
Yeah, really? At last, you're loving a bit of Jericho?
Listen, I won't say that. But maybe I'm loving him because he's probably will be off TV for a few weeks. So, Kieran, I don't know if you watched this segment, but I'm sure it caught your eye over the week. So basically, they had a war council, this kind of inner circle, kind of big conference thing, after losing the tag team title match. And MJ and Jericho's like, maybe we need to add another member, or maybe we need to take away a member. MJF cut him off, and before things got any further, Sammy Guevara's music hit, and he was like, Chris, I want you to look at the video. And MJF, basically, Sammy set up a camera, and MJF was backstage, and he said to Santana, Ortiz, and Jake Hager, tonight's the night, boys. We're kicking Chris Jericho out of the group. Sammy looked at Jericho, gets in the ring, and Hager and Santana Ortiz are like squaring up to Jericho and Sammy, and then they turn around and face MJF, and Jericho's like, "You're fired," and pushes him on the ground and says, "You think we were not talking all this time? The original Inner Circle is back, and they're about to beat the crap out of MJF." And MJF does a brilliant job. I don't know if you've seen this game, but he's crying, and he's like, I didn't want to take over the Inner Circle, I swear, because I was too busy making my own." Lights go down. They come back up, standing in the ring, MJF on one side, the Inner Circle are in the middle, and joining MJF, FTR, Tully Blanchard, Sean Spears, and Wardlow. And this just went off. The glass smashed off Jake Hager's head. They beat the crap out of Santana and Ortiz, double pile drivers with their hands handcuffed behind their backs. And did you see Sammy? Did you see what Sean Spears? Sean Spears sets up a chair in the corner and stomps Sammy Guevara's head into it, and Sammy sold it like a motherfucker. His head went straight through the chair, and his jaw was hanging off the chair. It was brutal, and Sean Spears looked fantastic in this. They dragged a bloody mess Jericho up to the stage and powerbombed him through a table. And the new stable that are reportedly called Pinnacle are here in AEW. Great. Listen. They just when they think they have us, they change it around. And if this is like the Four Horsemen with Tully as the enforcer and Wardlow as the kind of bodyguard until he kind of gets his singles run, I'm all for this.
Yeah.
And if this builds to Blood and Guts, then remember we were meant to get that Blood and Guts pay-per-view. It turns Inner Circle face. Now listen, Jericho got powerbombed through a table. He needs to go away for a few weeks. Inner Circle need to go away for a few weeks. Maybe just take a few weeks off. Because when they return as baby faces, I know they'll do it right. And I know Jericho, listen, as much shit as I've given Jericho, I trust him to get, like, you know the way people are like, how can we invest in Jericho as a babyface? I trust him enough after the Kevin Owens storyline. There's still enough trust there where I go, Jericho could return and make me invest in him as a babyface. Because it is Chris Jericho. It is Chris Jericho. Like, he's great as a heel. But if he needs to be a babyface for a while, and it's like Sammy can be a babyface or a heel. Jake Hager, I don't really know about. Santana and Ortiz are just wild. Listen, I'm interested to see where it goes, and that's a great way to end Dynamite. I really enjoyed Dynamite. But Kieran, well, I hope you're enjoying the show so far, whatever it may be, a weekly podcast, an interview, a collab, maybe a Project Dits special like it's coming up soon. But before we go on, I want to tell you about our sponsor. It's a bit crazy, but support for today's show is brought to you by Manscaped, the best in below-the-waist grooming. Manscaped offers precision-engineered tools for your family jewels. They are trusted by over 2 million men worldwide. Join the movement for all the below-your-waist grooming needs. They're fantastic. And they just launched in Ireland, Kieran. How cool is that? Like, that we are kind of one of the first to kind of get our hands on the products when they've just launched in Ireland.
It's the coolest, and we've wanted them here for a long time, to be fair. You hear about them all over the world. Every podcast is sponsored by them, and we finally got to try out their products.
Yeah, and they are fantastic. They're nothing short of fantastic. So you can be one of the first men in Ireland. Me and Kieran are lucky to be part of that group, and you guys can join us. We will give, as of course, we will give you the code at the end. But yeah, I mean, below the waist grooming is something that's like kind of known, but no one talks about it. But it's known to be very difficult with conventional razors. You get a lot of issues when you're using conventional razor down there because it's not like shaving your face. It's very, very different. And Manscaped has basically revolutionized that and fixed that. I've had issues with conventional razors, and it's great to have this just easy below the waist trimming tool. So they've redesigned their electric trimmer, Kieran, as if they couldn't get better. They've just released the new and improved Lawnmower 3.0, and I got my hand, and we both have our hands on it, and it is fantastic in every way. The grip is fantastic, the razor is fantastic, isn't it?
It's so good. It's surprisingly good. We got the performance package, which is just like, it's a premium product. It's surprisingly good, worth every fucking cent, in my opinion, at least. It's really well presented. The actual lawnmower 3.0 itself is really good. I tried it out last night, if I do say so myself. Really great grip. There's an LED light on it to help you with like precision grooming. It illuminates grooming areas for a closer and more precise trimming. You can see every twist and turn around your balls. It's excellent. It's one of the coolest features.
Yeah, and if you're like me who shaves in the dark, sorry, not shaving there, just showers in the dark, and I might not shave in the dark, but if I am having a shower in the dark, then the LED does help in that way as well, because it is a really cool LED light and it's very, very strong. Yeah, the like premium product, like when we say premium, we're not like just saying that. Like the battery lasts up to 90 minutes, which is fantastic. A lot of the problems with some other electric razors that people try to bring out is the battery life. There's an easy charger port, as me and Kieran have. You just plug it into your USB into your wall and you just stick it in. It's like basically the same electric system as your electric toothbrush. It's got like a little charger port and you just stick it in. The third generation trimmer features a cutting edge ceramic blade to reduce grooming accidents with the skin safe technology, so it protects you at all times. And the waterproof technology is helpful as well, because as we've said, you do it in the shower. You are grooming in the shower. You wouldn't be doing it like your normal shave at the sink. And then obviously Kieran's mentioned the LED light, which I really, really love as well. And if you're listening to us speak right now, we want you to experience it firsthand for yourself. And as Manscaped said, as we are an Irish podcast, make every day feel like St. Paddy's Day for your balls with Manscaped. And as the box said, your balls will thank you. And as we said, we have a code, so you can get 20% off and free shipping. And Kieran, before I go on with the code, I think free shipping is huge. The addition of free shipping is very generous, because as it is an American product and coming over overseas, shipping overseas to Ireland is huge. So the free shipping to include it with the 20% off is fantastic.
Yeah, it's a fantastic code. Like shipping is always the thing that for me, anytime I'm buying an American product, has kind of held it back. So this code giving you free shipping is, I don't know, use it. It is, take advantage of this because it's a great offer. It's a great deal. Plus 20% off the actual thing itself, which is crazy.
Yeah, so let's not beat around the bush. No pun intended. But get 20% off. Get 20% off plus free shipping with code Hallway. That's HALLWAY, all capitals, at manscaped.com. Get 20% off and free shipping with code Hallway at manscaped.com. I'll say it again. That's 20% off plus free shipping at manscaped.com using the code Hallway. Use the right tools for your job. Trim your pants potatoes and your balls will thank you. Let's get on with the episode. Please enjoy. And as we said, enjoy the products, and hopefully we'll see you soon. Let's get on to the road to WrestleMania. This is what we're going to finish on today, because we've got Raw, SmackDown, and NXT. I just want to get straight into the main event. They drew a poor rating, but listen, that's not... Io Shirai defended the belt against Toni Storm. Before we go into the main event, actually, NXT TakeOver, Kieran, Stand and Deliver, a 2-night event, reportedly. What do you think of the name? What do you think of the 2 nights?
Cool name. Is that a reference to anything? I feel like that sounds like an event that's happening.
Stand and Deliver sounds very military.
Yeah, I like the whole 2-night trend. I don't know if NXT's card is big enough to support that, considering how their entire TakeOver gimmick is really small, really concise tight card. So I don't know how that'll work over 2 nights. That feels very much like a Vince decision rather than a replacement.
I said that. I tweeted out being like, that's Vince's fingers in the NXT pilot.
Yeah,
so, like sadly,
they're good at takeovers. So I hope it's a decent show. If it is it even confirmed to be?
I'm not even sure. Like, to be honest, I haven't even really thought. Sorry. William Regal announced it. 2-night event beginning on April 7th on the USA Network and ending April 8th exclusively on Peacock.
That's interesting. So 1 free night and 1 paid for night.
Yeah.
I wonder if it'll end on like a cliffhanger to get people to go in, or if it's just gonna be like one night's a bit more shit than the other. That's really weird to me.
If they give me Kyle and Adam on the first night, then I'll be happy, because that's gonna be great. Because it's Kyle and Adam. But anyway, in a really weird booking decision, the NXT GM brought down Dakota Kai and Raquel Gonzalez, where they awarded the new NXT Tag Team Championships. First of all, they should have just given the tag team titles to NXT. We don't need another set of belts. Don't know why they're here. Listen, we digress. So they got awarded the belts, and then Shotzi and Ember Moon challenged them for the belts. Ember Moon said earlier this week that she nearly retired last year, which would have been tragic. Like, she was, like, I've never seen the Eclipse again. which is just strange. I don't know why. So then Io beat Tony, but then Ember and Shotzi beat Raquel Gonzalez and Dakota Kai to win the belts.
Hmm.
Like I don't understand that. Why didn't they just do a segment where they like both laid claim to the belts and then have the match? Like
I don't know.
it's just
Odd.
weird. Odd. Pete Dunne claimed he was the best technical wrestler in the world. He wasn't even. He's not even the. He's probably fourth best technical wrestler on NXT. If we're being brutally honest. I'm thinking about this because a lot of people were quite surprised when Pete Dunne came out with that. But he's good, but he's not the best technical wrestler on NXT or in the world. But yeah, he beat Jake Atlas quite swiftly to get back on track after losing the title match. Then we had the tag team title win where Moon and Blackheart won. Really good match. Kind of Gonzalez obviously didn't take the pin. No, Gonzalez didn't take the pin, so she's standing strong. So I'm assuming in the next few weeks she'll be going up to Io Shrine, being like, "I'll take that belt, thank you very much." Jordan, yeah, forgot about this. Jordan Devlin announced his travel ban has been lifted, and he was heading back to NXT with the real cruiserweight title. We're gonna say allegedly, but like I'm not surprised. I mean, Velveteen Dream is there. Matt Riddle's champion and going to be a lot bigger in WWE, but it's really sad to see someone who was used to be like someone you really, really liked, and then someone who is clearly in the spotlight for all the wrong reasons, just coming back over and being put into a big storyline. I was wondering what you thought of this, Ken.
Of what? You cut out there.
Jordan Devlin is coming back to NXT US, and they're probably going to unify the cruiserweight belts. His ban is lifted, and he's on his way to NXT, and he's the real cruiserweight champion.
I don't know what to think about it.
No,
Because have we heard any updates on?
there's a go. Well, the claimant, two people who come out. Listen, allegedly, just alleged. Two people come out. Yeah, two people who come out and said that he was quite abusive to them. There's a GoFundMe set up for someone for their legal cases. That has been in the comment section of every NXT video to do with Jordan Devlin or Sid Scala. Congratulations to Mariah May for raising $15,000 for her legal fees against Sid Scala. That is amazing. And I was on the stream when she raised that, and she was really emotional. That is a definite story of, like, that's a lot more clear as day than the Jordan Devlin one. So, well, first of all, congratulations to Mariah May, and I hope it really works out for her. But the Jordan...
Like, I know it's a bit of work for you. Edit this out if you don't want to. Include those in this bio. Just one of the fundraisers of the GoFundMe.
Oh yeah, no, actually, yeah. Like to be honest, I think one of the Jordan. I think they might be closed to fundraisers, but if any of the fundraisers are open, we will put them in the comments. And I've donated to both of them, but we'll put them in the comments. It really does help a lot of people because these legal, like I from what I can hear, I know someone who's like studying law. Legal fees can be extortionate, like a lot of money. So please go and support them. And if you just go into any NXT video, sadly, if you go into any NXT video, you will find the links. But that's obviously a good thing because we're rallying behind a good cause. But I just want to move on. I hope Escobar wins. I hope it's not a case of like I want to watch this show. I know it's going to be on Mania weekend, but I know I don't want to have this. I want to watch this show, but I don't want to watch this match, and I'm gonna have to skip. Like
I can only assume that flying over Devlin and even just keeping the whole storyline and not just having the new belt or whatever will lead to Devlin winning. I assume.
I like Escobar. I like everything about Legado and Fantasma. Like they have potential, and they have main roster potential. Vince and Mexicans. I might hold my breath on that one. But they are really good, and Escobar could be the main champion one day. He's that good. But yeah, let's get on to Kieran. Finn Balor versus Adam Cole was one of the best matches of the year. Fucking insane match. Really, really good. Beautiful match as always. Finn Balor, beautiful man. And what happened was, Kieran, this is a really cool moment. Balor sent Cole outside, and Kyle O'Reilly was staring straight through his soul. Denim sleeveless jacket, staring straight through Adam Cole's soul. Balor hit the 1916 off the distraction, followed by the coup de grace. O'Reilly came into the ring after Cole lost and grabbed Cole's arm and ripped the Undisputed Era armband off and beat the holy hell out of him. Just beat the shit out of him all around the ring. They brawled backstage. Kyle wasn't stopping, just beat the crap out of him. Apparently he aggravated his neck injury, maybe that storyline. Balor was left in the ring, Kieran, staring at the hard cam. And all of a sudden he just goes, I knew you'd come back. Looks behind him, Karrion Kross is there, and the show goes off the air with Finn Balor pointing a gun straight at Karrion Kross's head.
Mm.
Not a real gun, by the way. His finger gun, his Bullet Club rock and roller going straight at his head. Listen, if night one main event is Kyle O'Reilly versus Adam Cole, and night two is Karrion Kross versus Finn Balor, who was on another level and carrying NXT consistently, that's the good bones of a good pay-per-view for me.
Yeah, definitely.
Now, as a Finn Balor fan, I really want to get your thoughts on this.
Just have him win every match. That's my general opinion, I think.
Karrion Kross, let's just be brutally honest, Kieran. The time has come. Karrion Kross is winning that belt.
Yeah, it's looking like it. Unless he does a surprise demon thing. This is the Mania takeover, but that's also just me hoping.
Yeah.
Actually, Karrion Kross beating the demon would be it would be an incredible push.
Yeah, Scarlett's fantastic as always, and Karrion Kross is doing some good stuff. The no DQ match that he had with Escobar was really cool. Made him look like a boss. And I'm not complaining. Listen, NXT has a lot of shit. I much prefer AEW on a week-to-week basis. I watch AEW live and I watch NXT, the bits that I like. I'll be like transparent. Like I watch if there's a good match, I'll watch it here and there. If there's a good segment, I'll watch it here and there. Like I'm a lot more invested in AEW. We forgot to talk about the Hangman stuff. Hangman bought a lawnmower. Hangman, they all bought loads of stuff because long-term storytelling. When Hangman came out for a title match with Kenny, it said he's saving up to buy a lawnmower. Hangman said on BT, I really want to buy a lawnmower. He finally got a lawnmower. Love everything about Hangman. The Dark Order stuff is fantastic. Him helping him win, and them spend all the money before Hangman could even get it. Love it. But anyway, Raw. I want to get your thoughts, Kieran, because since we last chatted, a shitload of stuff has gone down.
Yeah, we picked the wrong week to not do a podcast.
So in short, Kieran, Bobby Lashley beat The Miz to win the belt. A brilliant night on the week of Black History Month. It was fantastic to see Bobby Lashley become the third ever Black WWE champion, which is mental. Like WWE champion, like obviously Mark Henry won the world title. The Miz pussied out. They put it into a lumberjack match and he won. Then he beat Miz in the rematch. What have you thought of it? Listen, that night on Monday Night Raw where they Miz faked cramps at 11 o'clock so he couldn't defend at 11, then he defended at 12. That was the best stuff the Raw's done in a long time, and it's a real credit to MVP, The Miz, and Bobby Lashley.
Yeah, no, it was really simple, really clever, and storytelling. Not even clever, just really simple, really well executed storytelling. That, as someone who has been vocally against definitely The Miz winning the title, I think when we recorded this last, he had
we said something
that I didn't really like. And I haven't been too crazy about the Hurt Business. This was a really good segment, and Bobby winning it so far, his title reign has been, for what it is, it's good. I really, really hope that Drew McIntyre does not beat him at Mania and win the title for a third time in the space of a year. I want Lashley and the Hurt Business to kind of have it for a little while and see what they do with it. Whether that's like a explosion angle or some shit where one of them wants to take it off Lashley or something, or just maybe a Shield type thing where they all of them have a belt. Don't they have a belt? Do they have the tag belts?
Yeah, they're the tag belts. Yeah, that shows how irrelevant the tag belts are. But the Hurt Business carried Raw for when it was bad through the pandemic. MVP with the cane is really cool. I like that. It's just a nice little toy. It's like the kind of like I knew you'd like it because it's just that kind of like finer details of wrestling where like MVP's getting about old. He's like got a cane and he's kind of like overlooking his crew, which is cool. I do like this. I don't know what the McIntyre and Sheamus stuff is fantastic. They've had two amazing matches the last 2 weeks, which we'll get on to. Like really, really good stuff. Keep that going to Mania and keep Drew out of the picture and do something else with Lashley. Like,
what is Lashley going to do though? What could that be?
Can Vince get Lesnar? I think the reason that this whole card is scrapped is because Vince is waiting on a call from Brock Lesnar. Genuinely. Like,
maybe, yeah, I could see that. Oh, Lashley versus Lesnar. People have wanted that for a little while.
Yeah, we've talked about that before.
I don't know if it'll be good, but I don't know.
We'd probably think like McIntyre's probably going to go over Lashley if we're being brutally honest. But anyway, now this next segment, right? As we were talking, Mania is not really finalized and et cetera. Vince, blah blah blah. One of the matches that seems set in stone, Kieran, after this took Twitter by storm. This promo was so strange. Shane McMahon versus Braun Strowman.
Oh, okay. I thought you were going with a different one. Yeah.
No, okay, we'll get on this. But Kieran, I want you to tell me: did Shane McMahon A, take coke before the promo, B, completely forget his lines and have to have Strowman just into him, or just malfunction halfway through?
The answer is all of the above. It was very
This
weird.
this was painful, Kieran. I'm not even met. Like, I was like, okay, this storyline has to happen. Shane has to have a Mania match. It might be okay, but this just drained my interest completely. He took 5 minutes to just call him stupid.
I think this is maybe a bit more exciting because I think if he's like this, just talking in front of no one. What's he gonna be like in the ring against? I presume Braun Strowman.
He's so sweaty anyway. But did you see the last segment where Braun walked out of the building? Shane just comes out and waves. I was like, oh,
Weird. He's so sweaty.
It's like, Dad, can I have a match against the big guy who's gonna beat the shit out of me? Can I jump off something high? Can I jump off the sign this year? Yes, son. Okay, fine.
What's he gonna do? What's he gonna jump? Is he gonna jump off the big pirate ship or what?
Oh yeah, he is. You're damn right he is. It's like Kevin got to do it last year. It's like, no, Dad. They don't. It's like, I don't even care about you. It's like, have you gotten the hint from my birthday messages? Fuck off. But yeah, that was funny when Stephanie put up a birthday message. It was like a really pixelated photo from like an iPhone 2. They all hate Shane. Poor Shane. But like, this was shite. Like, honestly, Anyway, moving on to greener pastures. I don't know what segment you're talking about. I'm very interested here.
I was talking about one that stirred up a bit of controversy, but then went into a reverse controversy, which is Apollo Crews he's embracing his like Nigerian heritage, and it's pretty cool. It's pretty interesting. He's putting on like a thicker accent. And then recently, a couple of days ago, Dave Meltzer called it horribly racist and stereotypical. And then within like 12 hours, I think, you've Nigeria's like his presidential aide, like I suppose an assistant to the president of Nigeria, endorsing the gimmick, and it's just been a really interesting turn of events. I think a lot of people weren't sure what to make of it.
Yeah, well, no, we'll blend the two shows because we're getting on a bit. But anyway, yeah. No, like the spear and the kind of gimmick where he's just turned heel and he's got a bit of edge to him. And Kieran, I love the intricacy of he was seen talking to Roman. Roman has his tribe, and then Apollo embraces his heritage.
Yeah, it's like it's sort of like it's clear that Roman was just like, I've taken what's unique about me, and I've taken my culture, and look where it's gotten me. And in kayfabe, at the very least, Apollo was trying to do a similar thing.
Yeah, and listen, Big E, brilliant foil for that. He's a really good champ. I don't know if they're gonna go to Mania. They're fighting a Fastlane. But a little side note, the Big E 24, fucking great. I watched it the other night. It only came out last week. So good. It talks about how he like got the bench press. Do you ever hear the story of when he got like the bench press record at John Cena's gym? They brought all the NXT lads to Cena's gym, and Cena was filming the documentary for the Rock match. And Big E like and he goes, if you get this record, I'll put you on the documentary. And he was on the scene of the documentary. And there's also a really good insight into Big E. I don't know if you know about Big E and FCW, but he tried so many different characters. It was mental. Apparently, he was a real introverted person. You wouldn't imagine it. Like, Big E apparently is just very to himself and introverted. Just, I don't even want to say anymore. Like, no, the 24 documentaries. I'm going to watch the Hardy one again because yesterday was the anniversary of Sting and Jeff Hardy from Victory Road when Sting was Hardy was out of his mind on drugs. I remembered how good the Hardy 24 was. This Big E one is fantastic, and I strongly recommend it. So yeah, Big E's doing some really good stuff. But yeah, Big E versus Apollo Crews. I'm not complaining. It's a good story. But Kieran, after that shoddy Shane promo, Drew versus Sheamus the past 2 weeks. Wow. We knew they could have great matches. This no DQ match, they beat the holy fuck out of each other. Like they did. Yeah, and then Have you seen this whole Twitter feud between Randy Orton and Soulja Boy? It's been really weird
Not a bit
last
of
few
it.
weeks.
It's like I don't give a fucking shit what Soldier Boy
Oh,
at wrestling. Who cares?
it's
And
been
to
really.
me, I it's one thing to have like a shitty no-name rapper or whatever who no one cares about, who had like a one-hit wonder like 20 years ago or whatever, tweet about wrestling. But it feels so desperate to have like
Mm.
100 fucking professional wrestlers like have to retweet him and be like, "Hey bro, hit me up in the gym and I'll kill you." It's just it comes off as so desperate sometimes, and I really
Oh
don't
man,
like that.
I woke up at like midday one of the days, and Randy Orton had like tweeted 5 minutes ago, and I was like, "You're up at 5 a.m. tweeting a rapper. You have a very hot wife at home, and you were up at 5 a.m. tweeting a rapper. Like, are you fucking mental? Why do you care? You have so much money. You
The
way
5 a.m.
too."
for him?
He was just up at he was just up at like 6 a.m. for him, like or up at like 4 a.m. Just something in the middle of the night, just
Mhm.
tweeting. So I'm like, you have way too much money to care about this. Like far too much money. Like don't interact with him. But from one rapper to another, Woods defeated Benjamin. Bad, bad Bunny is
I
really.
thought when you said from one rapper to another, I thought you were gonna like you were gonna give some Soldier Boy some advice as if you were a rapper.
Oh
Like,
no, no, that was a segue.
like,
No,
what-
no, I wasn't having my
what-
moment there. No. I wasn't gonna go full. I wasn't gonna go full Louis Theroux. My money don't jiggle, jiggle. It folds. That was one of the best things I've ever seen when Theroux went to the prisons. But yeah, anyway, we'll talk. Riddle squashed someone. They're moving towards Ali. They're having a match against Ali next week, I think. Yeah, Riddle defeats Slapjack. But the Shane McMahon and Strowman stuff continued. It was terrible. But yeah, he wasn't on the show. But Kieran, like the Damian Priest and Bad Bunny stuff, I'm not shitting on it. Like Bad Bunny is genuinely decent, and he's bringing some mainstream eyes to it.
Yeah, and all of the fucking what's it called? All the backstage talk is that he's pretty respectful of the business and kind of gets it, which is always cool. Everyone
Yeah,
seems to be happy he's there. So yeah.
yeah. Jackson Baszler defeated Naomi and Lana. Reginald is with Jackson Baszler now, and he was wearing a new suit and blah 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 blah. AJ and Randy. Vince is probably like two solid lads because this was all about the angle afterwards. We'll put AJ in there. Good match. I wonder what AJ is going to do for Mania. It's a bit weird. He's been in a bit of a crosshairs with just setting up this feud. But yeah, okay, Kieran. Orton got to his feet and was about to hit the RKO, but almost pulled him out of the ring. The arena was dimmed into pink. Bliss appeared on the screen. She lit a match, ignited a flame from the ring post, and Dudley took a pop at this with the whole pyro off the ring post thing, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
And Randy Orton vomited black again. What the hell is this? I genuinely can't stand this. Why is he vomiting black like every week?
I mean, it's got to be to do with Alexa, right? I assume.
Yeah, but man, I know the Fiend is like wacky and shit and it's building to that match, but like, are you even remotely interested in this?
If it becomes Randy Orton turns into like a demon, or he becomes like one of the Fiends, he becomes like the Bray Wyatt like on Firefly Funhouse, like, "Hi everybody, I'm Randy Orton." If he becomes that, then yeah. But if it's just something that he's doing until this feud is over, then no, I don't care. And it's kind of like,
Yeah, and that ended Raw. But listen, SmackDown was a bit better, but SmackDown seems to be getting in crosshair as well. Listen, we love the man, Kieran. You loved him, and then I grew to love him from watching his old stuff, and then. But yeah, Daniel Bryan is doing fantastic work right now.
yeah,
So
yep,
so so
yeah.
good. Edge and Bryan. Sorry, sorry for interrupting you. I'll put over to you now. Edge and Bryan came out and they were in the ring, and he was like, "I respect you," but after Bryan won the cage match, it was a great cage match. He was like, "I would do anything to get one last shot at Mania," and he said, Edge was like, "I've got respect for you," but he said Bryan was better than these tactics. He's basically saying, "Why the fuck are you getting in my way?" And Edge walked off in disgust. I like this. Listen, I don't know where they're going with it, and I don't know. I don't know off my own head. Kieran, can you please clear? So, do you want to see Edge versus Bryan versus Roman at Mania? Is there a triple threat, or do you want to see it straight down the middle and have Edge and Roman, and then what would Bryan do? I'm really confused.
I mean, as long as Edge doesn't come out on top, I don't really mind. I think putting Braun in there would be their way of kind of like trying to protect Edge from coming out. But he's saying that he was solid against Randy Orton in the singles match, but I guess that was pre-recorded and heavily edited. But I can't help but wonder if Bryan is their way of like, you know, making the match better than it would be if it was just one on one, or like keeping Edge away from potential injuries or something. I'm not
Oh,
sure. I just don't want Edge to win. If Edge wins this, that would be bad.
I
And I
know.
feel like Bryan is there to maybe take the pin, which kind
Yeah,
of sucks.
no. Roman is walking out with the belt, but I agree. If Daniel Bryan's in a match, it brings up the quality tenfold.
Yes.
Um, oh, this is
Plus,
doing
this is his last full time run, so give him some great WrestleMania matches.
yeah. The Street Profits and the Mysterios defeat Rude Ziggler and Alpha Academy. The Alpha Academy stuff is pretty cool. I like all this as a heel. It seems to be working well. Cable's really good. Rude and Ziggler can get fucked. I really don't care about them whatsoever. Mysterio, Dominic is definitely improving. This is Kieran. You know the way this is like like two teams, like a 8-man tag.
Yeah.
This just has like I'm feeling. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I feel like every year this happens in March and February, just building to that multi-man match where every tag team is in the match for the titles of Mania.
Yeah, and it's always okay, and it's always a ladder match, and
It won't be a
usually
lot of matches you.
one ladder match, one ladder spot goes wrong. Usually, like a ladder doesn't break or something.
Remember
I
last
don't
year
know.
there was. Remember last year like they had to like someone tested positive, so they had to have like a triple threat ladder match, and like
Yeah.
with the
But
tag
that
belts
was
on.
a fucking sick ass match, though. That was
Oh,
really
it was.
good.
Oh, yeah, I remember that being a really good match, and it was because it was Kofi, wasn't it? It was Kofi, Morrison, and Jey Uso, or was it Jimmy? It was Jay. It was Jay. Yeah. But anyway, this is great. I love this. Cesaro and Seth Rollins, but I'm really confused, and I want your opinion on it. So Seth Rollins asked Cesaro about the swing. The Messiah watched top of the ramp as Murphy against Cesaro, as you'd expect, a great match. Murphy is really, really good. Um, so basically, Murphy jumped right into a giant swing, and Rollins got really angry. Obviously, PT, like bringing back the memories. He attacks Cesaro, disqualification, hits Cesaro with a stomp in his lovely little shoes. He was wearing such a dickish suit as well. Um, he then trapped his head in a steel chair, ready to stomp him again. But officials got involved and saved Cesaro. And then Rollins went backstage because Cesaro and Rollins seems to be building the fast lane. And he got backstage, and Shinsuke Nakamura was looking at him. And Shinsuke said he wants to go for the belt. Obviously, that might be a post Mania feud. Are they doing Cesaro as a one and done, and then moving on to Rollins and Nakamura for Mania, or what the hell are they building to here? Is it going to be? Oh, it's going to be Cesaro and Nakamura versus Rollins and Murphy. No,
No, I don't know.
no.
Do it.
But Rollins, Kieran, do you remember what we were saying? Imagine opening Mania with Rollins and Cesaro in a singles match.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah, that would be a really good. I don't know. I could see a multi-man opening Mania, maybe all four of them, fatal four-way type thing.
oh, oh,
Yeah,
oh, that's tasty. That's tasty. No, that is exciting because yeah, they're four of the world's best. Yes. Now KO show. Kevin Owens is back to doing talk shows. Hopefully, he gets an angle from Mania. We don't know. KO's back doing the KO show.
surely you will.
He's a really good. He's a really good. Maybe Jey Uso. I'd like that. Yeah,
Mm.
actually, it is going to be Jey Uso because Jey Uso trapped his arm. Give me that. But yeah, this Sasha Banks and Bianca Belair going for the tag titles at Fastlane again and still being a team is really fucking annoying me.
Yeah,
It's just it's really really frustrating because they should be building. You shouldn't build to this big singles match for Bianca Belair to like build like as in like actual. They're not tagging together 2 weeks out from Mania.
yeah. I don't know. I like Bianca enough that I'm willing to look past it. I think right now.
Oh yeah, me too. Yeah, I know. I'm really happy because I know Bianca. The end result is Bianca winning the belts, and I'm delighted for her. But just you know, it is what it is. You know, we've already said it, Vince. Blah blah blah. So Big E and Sami Zayn had a title match because Sami Zayn was the first one in the ring. He did his whole shtick with Baron Corbin. Baron Corbin said he had a title shot, but Sami Zayn said no to me. Zayn Zayn lost his cool and just started slapping Big E, and then Big E hit a big ending because he was angry, and he won. And then Cruz's theme song hit, and he attacked the champ from behind. Olympic slams, and then steel steps to the face. So it's Big E versus Apollo Crews at Fastlane. Wouldn't be surprised if they added a steel step stipulation. They don't need it. But listen, as we discussed earlier, this feud is like I'm not disappointed in it, and if it goes to Mania, I wouldn't complain.
Yeah, I'd agree with that.
Yeah. Now this contract signing, Kieran, I love this because everybody in this ring is the most. These are the foremost These are the foremost Is it the word investable characters on Raw and SmackDown right now? As in just Jey Uso, Roman Reigns, Edge, and Daniel Bryan are just all working very well together in this story. We don't know where it's going, but I trust the four of them plus a bit of creative to come up with something that's not shit. Jey Uso wanted to talk to Roman Reigns, but Paul Heyman would not let him into the locker room. Edge found Uso backstage and told him he was wasting his talent working under the head of the table. So they were out there for the contract signing, and Reigns told Daniel Bryan that he had changed his mind. I don't want to give him a match at Fastlane. He was like, nah, you've acted like a dick the last few weeks. I'm not giving you that match. And then Daniel Bryan was like, maybe I could be the head of the table. Maybe I could call myself the head of the table now that you're pussy and out. Maybe Alpha and Sika would love me. And Roman Reigns, he signed the contract, and Roman Reigns was fucking raging, and he signed the contract out of anger. Uso threw the table out of the ring and squared up to Bryan, was like, you need a special, he's like, Pierce, you need a special enforcer for this match. It's going to be me. I'm going to be the special enforcer to call this down the middle. Edge came out and was like, no, Jay, you're not going to be the special enforcer. I think I'll be the special enforcer. But if you want to fight for that, right? Me versus you next week on SmackDown. Winner gets to be the enforcer of Fastlane. That's how the segment ended. Oh, sorry, no, it did. A brawl. This is really cool. A brawl. Just kind of. This is where I think this might be going to a triple threat. A brawl broke out, and Daniel Bryan hit Edge with the running knee to close SmackDown. Edge is very good at selling, by the way. He's selling the spear from Roman and like the running knee from Daniel Bryan have been fantastic, but the fact that Daniel Bryan put his hands on Edge leads me to believe that they will do the triple threat.
Yeah.
I don't know how I feel about it.
I don't know. We'll see how it goes. I think it'll be a good match, and that's what's the most important thing. I suppose.
Yeah, no, anything with Daniel Bryan, I'll be latching onto. But it's one of them where you're just like, it's weird. Like Mania this year is weird. There's not many.
Tonight doesn't really mean anything. I don't know. There's going to be a crowd there.
Yeah, listen, we'll talk about it. Hopefully it will come clear. Like, if it doesn't come clear by the time Mania comes around, then fucking hell, like, Jesus. But anyway, we've gone for an hour and 23. Like, we had to start late today for transparency. It's 9:45 now, and I need to get this podcast out. So, Kieran, yeah, I need to sleep as well. But anyway, Kieran, do you have any recommendations this week? We've been missing for 2 weeks. Have you got anything you wanna plug yourself, even, or anything that you want to recommend?
I want to recommend the movies. The Watchmen TV show is excellent. Another Round, the movie is excellent. Minari, the movie is excellent. Yes, all of those, and Death Proof, the Quentin Tarantino movie that no one likes except me apparently, because I fucking love that thing. I only watched it this morning. Amazing. I think that's it. Yeah, go on. Anything you want to recommend?
Yeah. So this week on DCUFM, there's 5 radio shows. 5 of us are doing C week, so all our shows are going to be C team. So if you want to tune into our radio show, we have a bit of crack. Tuesdays 6 to 7, but there's loads of other shows that are part of C week. Got a Talking Point Tuesdays on Instagram, and you'll find all the shows there and all the there's some cool stuff coming up. A little bit of a charity live stream coming up soon on the radio station that we might be involved in. So we'll see what happens. But Kieran, as we're like, everyone's struggles a lot. We've talked a lot about mental health, and like, you've had your struggles. Everyone has had their kind of like struggles in the past. And one thing that like really, really like the stigma of like you shouldn't, like, a lot of people are very scared to speak up about it. And a big part of that is because of who we look up to. A lot of people that like, a lot of celebrities, they use filters or they use like a mask to hide behind, like hide their problems, and don't really. They're very good at telling you when they've done good, but they don't really talk about when they're down, because I guarantee a lot of celebrities have suffered with depression, but we never knew it. And it's really like, if say your favorite, like, first of all, before I plug it, I just want to say, like, how, like, if you were like going through a tough time and like someone you looked up to, like an actor or like someone like in like someone that you like admire came out and was like, yeah, I've had a shit time and I'm like feeling really depressed, it would encourage you and inspire you to kind of seek help yourself and be more transparent about it. If you were very kept your cards close to your chest, wouldn't, like, as in, like, if someone like an actor came out and was like, yeah, I've had a shit couple of years and I'm not really doing quite well, but I'm seeking help, that would inspire a lot of people who are fans of those people to come out and talk about mental health. It's a really important thing. I'm getting onto a point now, but what would your thoughts be on that? As in, like, like, we need to see more like high level people coming out and talking about and destigmatizing mental health.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. It's something that needs to be normalized, and a lot of people, especially younger people, can, like, find out that it is normal through celebrities who might not otherwise talk about it.
Yeah, and this brings me on to my recommendation this week, which is the True Geordie podcast, and the latest episode is with a man known as James Arthur. And for those who don't know who he is, for my money, I think it was the last year I watched the X Factor. I don't know if you know much about him, Kieran, but you probably have heard of him.
Yeah, that year, I think.
Yeah, 2012, he won the X Factor. He was a foster child. The story is in the podcast, but he was a foster child, and he won the X Factor, and he was like, his parents were split up, and he was on a lot of like Valium to get through the show. He didn't look quite well, and he got a lot of fame, and then he just basically said he 2-hour podcast talking about how he wanted to throw it all away. He was dropped by Simon Cowell's record label. He started fights with One Direction. He was 300 grand in debt at one point. Like, he was like just not really well. And he came out 2 hours and 12 minutes and was like, I was a dick for a long time. Like, I was just a shitty person. I was really depressed. I shunned a lot of people away. I like ruined my career. And then he wrote the song Say You Won't Let Go, which is a really, really good song. And they, in the space of a day, they asked him back on the show and they got his career back on track. But it's just really, really cool. It's a really in-depth chat about the highs and lows of being famous and how a lot of people, when they're famous, want to throw it away and don't want to be famous. A lot of people fall into fame way too early in their career, and it leads to a lot of mental health issues. And it was so cool to see someone come out and just go, yeah, for years I was depressed. I was a dickhead and I really affected my life. But I told my girlfriend and I told the people around me that I wasn't feeling well and I got the help I needed. And it's just really cool to see that.
Totally.
And then obviously he released a song this week that's just an absolute tune. So go listen to Medicine from James Arthur. It's a really, really good song. I genuinely, it's one of my favorite songs that I'm listening to at the moment. So really, really good song, Medicine by James Arthur. The lyrics are just, if you've been through a mental health struggles, the lyrics, if you just listen to the lyrics, they are deep and they're really, 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 really good song. Go listen to the podcast if you're feeling low, because as James Arthur is the example, if you seek help, you will become better. And I think a lot more celebrities need to do that. Go into these podcasts or go into their social media. Not just, don't reveal all because private life and stuff like that, but just if you're having a shit day, don't hide behind it and kind of think about your, like, the young audience that you have and the power that celebrities hold is unbelievable. And if they use it, a lot of people use it in the wrong way, but if people use it in the right way, like a few celebrities do, it can make a world of a difference for a lot of people. So yeah, that's my recommendation for this week. Sorry for being long-winded. But yeah, that's it. Yeah, and anything else? Is there nothing? I haven't really watched much. No, I'm yeah. Just go listen to our podcast. Tom Foolery is a great radio show on DCUFM. They've got a podcast that's really, really good. They're doing some really cool shit. Go listen to Project Dits and the Plus at a Time boys. And yeah, I think it's time to take it home because I need to edit this and get it out and get to bed. So, Kieran, it's been a pleasure talking to you again as always. It's nice to be back. Hopefully we're back. Oh, yeah, we're going to be back next week and we've got some cool. We're definitely going to get back on the Takeover Throwbacks horse. I'll have a few more interviews coming out. I hope you've enjoyed all the interviews as well. And if you haven't, there's a back catalogue of interviews with Mark Haskins, Kerry Silkin, and Joe Hendry and the boys, and I'm really proud of those. So if you want to check them out and have a good laugh. LJ Cleary as well. Fantastic interview. But yeah, Kieran, it's time to take it home, baby.
All right, well, I've been Kieran Brennan. With me is always my co-host.
The man that you just forgot, Rian.
And you've been listening to the Whole Wrestling Podcast. And as we say at the end of every episode of the Hollywood Wrestling Podcast. We are tired. We are so tired.